Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Beauty on a Budget. My name is Heather and today is Saturday, November 29th of 2025. So I am making chili to take to the church tonight. We're doing a chili cook-off. Well, I soaked more beans. I'm going to be making 2 pots of chili, which is fine. But I've got my other stock pot, and last time I used this, I burned stuff. I believe this was the stuffing when I was making it. I thought I was stirring it, just when you get the stuffing in here, it all puffs up. It's so hard to tell. That's why I don't really like to use the stock pot when I'm doing stuffing, but my other pots are being used. So I'm going to try this method I've never done with just basically vinegar, maybe baking soda if you need it. So I'm going to try. So it says you just fill enough water to cover the burn mark, so it's not a lot of water. Got enough water. Burner. Just gonna move this out of my way for a second. Okay, so just enough water, and we're gonna boil it with a 1/4 cup of vinegar. I just had my measuring cup. Here we go. 1/4 cup of vinegar, and just boil this for about 15 minutes. I have never cleaned pots like this. I usually just get like steel wool when it's these type of pots, or the SOS pads, but I'm like, there's got to be a different way that doesn't involve me scrubbing for an hour. So I will try this. Just gotta check this, making sure I'm turning the right burners on. I've been messing up on my burners lately, so I'm just gonna get this to come to a boil and let it boil for 15 minutes. So you can see it's just the water and the vinegar. So I'll be back when it has come to a boil, but you can already see flakes of the burnt stuff already coming off, and I haven't even done anything. I mean, kind of swirled it around, which I'm actually amazed that that's actually starting to come off already. So yeah, I'll be back in about 15 minutes when it's boiled. So it's really boiling, so I'm just going to turn it down. It says to keep it boiling, but I don't want the water to boil dry, because then what would be the point of this if I end up boiling the water off? So I'm just kind of swishing it around and just getting different parts of the burnt on stuff on different parts of the heating element. So I'm just going to continue to let this boil, and I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Right, so I grabbed the wooden spoon just so I could stir this around. I was just trying to see if any of this was coming out. I don't know if you can see through the steam, but I've got a lot of the little bits of black stuff is floating around. So it is coming off. So now I'm curious what will happen if I add the baking soda on top to give it that, whatever the baking soda and vinegar do. I'm just going to grab a spoon. A spoonful of baking soda, and I'm just going to sprinkle it in. Now you can see all the bits that have come off. Just seeing if this is going to... The water is very dirty. But yeah, you can see all the black pieces that are floating around. So yeah, it is cleaning, and I don't know, found something else. It's stuck to the pan. So this probably will work. It's not working as fast as I thought it would. really thought, like, I mean, I'm still impressed with the amount of little black bits that have come off, but you know, it's just still going to need so much scrubbing. I think I'm just going to go and grab the SOS pad and do it the long way. But you know, I think this would work if it wasn't such a big burned area. I'm just going to turn this back on and get it back up to one more boil and see if with the baking soda, if that's going to help to get any more of that burnt stuff. I'm going to grab another little, I can do this with one hand. There we go. Grab another scoop of the baking soda in there and just let that come to boil and see what happens. All right, so I grabbed my regular dish scrub and I was just going like this, and it was really coming off. But I said I usually use like the SOS pad. So I ran down and I grabbed the SOS pad, and it's not on. I mean, the burner's still hot. It's still boiling. And yes, the heat and the water, the baking soda, the vinegar, and the SOS pad is making this come off so much faster. I'm barely scrubbing. You can see, I mean, I can't really scrub if the pot is moving around on me. But I can see a lot of the black stuff is gone. It was just going to take a while if I kept boiling it with the vinegar and baking soda or make a paste. I'm like, want to try to speed it up. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to take this over to the sink. I'm going to dump this out, and I'm going to just scrub the rest of this off with the SOS pad because it should all easily come off now. Right, so I just dumped out the water. You can see what improvement that is. A lot of that stuff, and it's still just scraping off just using the wooden spoon. I'm just going to put that in, but I need a little cold water because the pot's just too hot. So are my claws. So just some cool water. And I'm just going to need some elbow grease here now. I'm going to say that boiling water and vinegar and baking soda really helped get a lot of this stuff off. Grab the SOS pad as well and just kind of I don't care if that get all the stuff off. I just need a little more. Like that is looking so much better. So I'll be back. I'm just going to give this about 5 or so more minutes of scrubbing, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like, because doing it this way would probably be like an hour of scrubbing. Cut down to 5-10 minutes of scrubbing. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes. I've been scrubbing just a few more minutes. I don't quite know if it's been 5 minutes or not, but I know I got the whole bottom and the inside of the pot all covered with the soap of the SOS pad. I'm just checking to make sure my microphone is still on. The other day it kept turning off on me, so if you see me play with the microphone, I'm just trying to make sure it's still turned on. Okay, I'm just going to give this a rinse. I don't expect it to be perfect. They clean, I'm just saying, like, I got this free, it was secondhand. It had some burns and stains on the bottom, and it did have a little bit of a burn on the inside. But that to me is so much better that, you know, I said if I need to take some like chili to the church in this, then that is what I will do. So that pot clean, and I will say I think that boiling the vinegar, and then I think it's because you're supposed to boil it, and then you're supposed to kind of let it cool, and then add the baking soda to make a paste, and you're supposed to scrub that. But I was kind of impatient, so I decided to try to, you know, scrub it myself with the SOS pad. But again, that saved me so much time of scrubbing. So that is definitely a really good way to clean your pots. Sorry. It's actually a really good way of cleaning burnt on pots. Now, I think if you do that right when you burn it, not like a month later, it will probably work so much better. So now I'm going to try that on some of my bakeware. I've seen that different ones, and they will do that, and they will boil the kettle and pour it into the baking dish. I've also seen some people put the baking dish in the oven and get the water to boil that way. I don't know if I really want to do it in the oven. Knowing myself, I don't want to have to wash out my oven just because I want to try some way to wash my pans. But I'm going to say it definitely saved me a lot of scrubbing. So again, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who subscribes to my channels and watches my videos, and I will see you in the next ones.